Time is now with Back to the Rhymes. It's like, wow, he's back to the rhymes. I'm in the booth straight dropping dimes. Clark Kent, Daily Planet, the Metropolis Times. I write these raps while I'm under the gun. I see you back to get you some. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. Pure, raw, uncut rap. Back to the rhymes. Now's the time. Time to unwind because it's back to the rhymes. Back to the rhymes. Now's the time. Time because it's back to the rhymes. All right. I thought I'd start in this position so I'm not moving midway through. I'll move midway through, but I don't have to move twice. That's what I want to say. School Us album sales. Not a lot of action there. But included in that is the My Reformation video. So not exactly a lot of action there yet, but there's a plan in motion for June. So these are going to go hand in hand. I actually just did my taxes this past week, and the revenue for last year, if you want the full numbers, so 2020, the revenue was $210 on these and some shirts, mostly this, 210, and then I think last 2021 would be $200 in sales. So it's consistent, and I'm way behind this year. I've only got $10 so far, and we're in April. But the idea is we're going to have the CD release party, and that should drive sales, and then we could at least get to $200 again, plus hopefully. All right. Yeah, not much else to say about those two. You will be glorified. Nothing to say about that. I could have brought it up, but there hasn't been an exactly good time to talk to Yumi yet. So maybe in the next couple of weeks. I know my daughter, I think this is spring break for her, so she's going to take a voice lesson with her. So that is something to take note of. So if my daughter can learn how to sing well, I would be thankful, blessed, excited, and then she could sing this. I don't know how to learn how to sing well. She likes singing, but she's just never had any voice lessons. Some people apparently might not even need it. I guess it depends on the person. YouTube channel. So that's been good. I was just doing some, I always check usually daily, how the analytics are going. And so this last show actually broke a record for total time watched, close to 2 hours. So that's cool. Thankful for that. I did share it a couple of times this week, but that's really cool, especially when you consider it's the latest show as compared to some show in the past. I guess prior to that, what was the highest show? I guess one of mine, you could search in now Back to the Rhymes. I think that comes up pretty high, but they're all pretty close, but nothing's at that 2 hour mark. So we're getting close to that. That'd be cool to hit that. So also this week I will be with Leon, and we're going to do the third part of the series. I saw an interesting video today called Watch the Water. I don't think it'll affect his plan. It would affect his plan necessarily, but he's got to hear this. This is quite interesting because they discuss the trajectory someone goes on when you enter the hospital, and then all of a sudden you're on a ventilator, and what happens in between, and the basically the drug of death, I guess might be called Resfidazine or something. Anyway, I think I don't know what his reaction would be to that, but there's a pattern of people being admitted to the hospital with COVID, and then before you know it, they're in a tailspin, and they give them this drug, which is the equivalent of snake venom, apparently, and that's what the research seems to be coming up with. So I just would be curious to know. That's what the research seems to be coming up with. So I just would be curious to know what his thoughts are on that. Also, I really feel led to. There's the Bible-based counselor. His name's Daniel. He comes on the radio like twice a week. 6:30 a.m. is the station, and it's about 6 a.m. on Saturday. He is really on it when it comes to some counseling and just big picture stuff and why people struggle and what in areas of struggle and picture stuff and why people struggle and what in areas of struggle and but there's no way to shows that I can see. And so I've met with him a few times and he went on vacation, but the plans to get back together. But I want to see maybe possibly because he's recording. I mean, I want to talk to him. Also, I want to talk to the station. You know, how much is it to go on air? I don't know. He's not a high roller, but he's got his show twice a week. I don't know what the cost is. Maybe it pays for itself. I found him because of his show, but he still has availability to take on new clients too, for what it's worth. But man, that's good talk, good discussion, good just to get a good understanding of the patterns that people have when they start to have addictions and get off track versus people who don't fall into addictions and get off track, and what's the difference. That's what they were talking about this past week, in particular the area of pornography and things like that, but it can apply to other things too. But this stuff is it's not really understood as much as I think it should and could be. But I want to, like I said, he had a show. It was really good. And where is it? If someone wanted to hear it, how would you get to it? So that's what I will want to find out from him, if that's something we could explore. And I would be happy to put them on here or whatever. One thing I would say though, if I was going to do that, I would really, because it's a studio, so the audio is going to be quality because it's radio. I don't know if they have any video. I was thinking too, there could be I wouldn't want to do it like taking away from the ratings or the show, obviously, but maybe well after the show or a month, after the show, just have it recorded and then put it up. I just have to see what he has to say, but it should be available somewhere to people to learn, because he's on to something. He's got one single sheet of paper, and it goes back to 2004. He has a copyright on it, and it's like the playbook to operate off of, and talks about, when your world shrinks first, your world expands. And when your world shrinks, you're self-centered, you're other-centered, and there's a whole thing and all these things going on, but it's all on a sheet. So it's a good thing to operate off of. And it helps him to counsel people and help them get going in the right direction. So we're going to have Leon's I'm going to be sharing that. I'll have the third of the three that I guess we're going to call it the final chapter, and I'll start sharing that and we'll see. So overall, for viewership, number one by far is the Trump's Gonna Thump, and number two is the Battle Hymn of the Parents. So let's see what happens if I turn around and share this 100 times. What happens, because that's fun. I did the Bed of Bread 100 times, but that's just a short little 10-second thing, and then when it comes around to the songs, they're at the end, so a lot of people didn't make it through the whole thing. Rules of engagement, nothing to add. Bellevue Ballers, we were cleaning up our house, spring cleaning. That wasn't fun, but necessary, I'd say. Our house is a lot better place. We work from home on this project, so it'll be a much better mindset to be connecting with people if we feel better about where we are in our workspace. Merch. So the plan has been to go to Dawn's Group Attire and see what they're all about if I can get a hold of them. But I got to get off and get there before 5. And suddenly I'm working past 5 virtually every day. So that was last week's story. The week before, someone was on vacation. So I'm hearing that from here. What are we in April? Once for sure Memorial Day, but even before, people are starting to not show up to work. Now we had Easter weekend. Maybe that would explain why we didn't have a lot of people on Saturday. But if that happens and I got to work extra, then I'm going to have to maybe call them again. I think I called them before just to want to get a rough estimate of the price. The other thing I'm thinking of, so I want to do a GOATS greatest hits, not greatest hits, but their top 10. I'm still looking. I got my mentor Trey, who's in communication with Terry over there, and he was based out of Florida. And I think he has some connections to the GOATS who are out of Florida. I'm just working on it, but I might not have the budget to do that, but I do have the passion for it. I do want to do it. So we'll see. We shall see. But considering we're going to have a CD release party, I got to have some shirts for sale. So if I can take the proceeds from that and put it towards the GOATS, that'd be cool. We'll see. Trunk's going to thump. Nothing new this week to report. And then complete songs I made lyrics for to meaning this music. Nothing to update you on with that. I did have an idea with my coworker. That's separate. We're both named Jeff, but we both have alcohol drinks for our last name. And I got an idea. I haven't met him before, but I see his locker is really close to my new locker. I see his name there. Anyway, it's just an idea. It'd be a metaphor. I'm not into the alcohol. He might be. It sounds like it. I watched a video of his. Seemed like he's into it. Marijuana, whatever. It's very popular. You know, a lot of these rappers, man, they gotta have their dope. But we'll see. All right. So one thing I got to share one big deal. So I've identified, thanks to a friend of mine, what are we calling him? J Fire something. We don't know the exact name with a P, at least it distinguished. He had an interesting conversation with the business owner on the route he's doing, and it turns out we're like-minded, and it turns out that would be a good place to have a show. Okay, before I forget, so Theon has identified there was discussion. We had a discussion about going back to North Carolina because a fellow who's from this area originally was a youth pastor over there, and the idea was that he would understand hip hop and see value in it and be in connection with youth who enjoy that. So we're talking about going back there to do something. I totally forgot all about that, but she mentioned that he's actually the lead pastor of an Bible church, which if you all have heard of Ken Hutcherson, who's passed away back almost 10 years ago, he founded that church with a couple others, but he was the lead pastor. So anyway, so this fellow, his name's Herb. So we'll see what happens, but that sounds cool, you know. Trying to find people who already understand hip hop, but obviously are believers. That would be a beautiful mix, you know. So that she was thinking of that maybe venue wise, and they sound like they ran out another church. It really works well, and I know another church that uses a Seventh-day Adventist building, so they're doing the same thing. Makes sense, you know. But the fella I got to talk to, I've been invited to go there indirectly because he said bring your friends. So my friend Jay Fire there, I'm his friend, and we could fellowship and support this business and possibly do a show, possibly, maybe, I don't know. It certainly seems possible, but it's right on the right track. This guy would be great from what I heard. And he's doing well in the business world, which is another beautiful thing. We got to have that and support that, and we got to work with folks like that. So that's what I wanted to say about that. Yeah, so that's good news. And he also found someone who's fleeing to Ohio, but he's a bold individual. And that goes to Bellevue Ballers. We need boldness. I was watching Newt back in 2012 make the distinction between a timid Massachusetts moderate and a bold Reagan conservative. It's always stuck with me. Boldness. Got to be bold. Timid's not getting it done. So that's what I wanted to say. One other thing was I've noticed, so we have, let's say, of people who would self-identify as conservative, a couple different distinct groups, and not even rhino-verse or establishment, I guess, honest to goodness conservatives, right? Meaning that they're patriots, they're I'd say grassroots, people on the ground. The distinction I've noticed, there are people who are very much of the mindset of public safety, and maybe they're even military. I'm thinking of a couple of coworkers, but I can think of others who very much against crime, very much against property damage, very much against all this, urban decay. But at the same time, they're very much seem to be for anything that, they I guess it has to do with where they get their information, but it extends into taking vaccine, wearing a mask, following the rules, being obedient. I imagine that, the church, obey and all this stuff. See, that's the debate I want to hear, because I did read that, it's like, okay, we're going to do what the government says. And I guess as long as it's not violating God's laws, but, I want to talk to Leon some about that one too. But he's just going to say Christianity is so far off, it kind of doesn't matter. But I think that, it's a discussion. Anyway, so what I was saying is I couldn't figure him out. I was like, he's following the rules, and he's like kind of like almost like a snitch kind of thing. But in his mind, public safety, security, a security mindset. So I get it. It was a good thing for me to understand better. I'm a little more rebellious, I guess, in the sense of, I can't follow rules that it's just very hard for me to stomach nonsense, especially when the underlying agenda really is control of the population, and that's where it seems to be. And so, and I did talk to someone at church today, and his son's over in China, his wife's Chinese, and he said they're locking up the country and food's running out. This is someone in China. The food supply is depleting. I haven't studied it beyond this conversation too much, but I'm sure it's out there. It's scary stuff, it's hard for those folks to really, I don't know what they're very obedient, maybe I was told they don't, my other friends said, they don't want to lose their life. They've been through that a few times. Maybe we've been able to stave that off, but we can't be soft in that area. It could happen here too, right? There's a lot of people that want to dominate the population. And they get off on that. So I'm going to get back to the rhymes. And it's kind of along those lines. I was thinking of going by the radio station, asking if I could use, 770 David Bowes would have that, their finest hour. That's where I got that from. I'd hear he play it every day on his show. And, that's, how does that work? You're a radio station, you use a clip of Winston Churchill. I guess you pay somebody some money for that. How does that work? So I deliver mail to 1590. What is that? That's The Answer. The Answer? Yeah, I think they call it The Answer. 1590 AM. Salem Media. So I don't see them. I've been up there before, but I could go up there. It'd be easier for me to go to. I'm close to 770 as well. I don't know how accessible they are. I can get up to probably knock on a door for $15.90 just to ask that question, because that's the plan for this song. The plan for this song is to use that soundbite, that sample. It'd be cool. All right, and I'd have to figure out how that would work. Oh, I was finishing the rhyme here. I had it figured out, but let me do that. Oh boy. Shoot, I had it, but what was I thinking? Go down the devil's schemes. Oh no, I had it. I had it, but I couldn't write it. And now, what was it? Let me go through it if I can get it back. Otherwise, that's a shame. Okay. Their finest hour was this very moment, living life correct, living in the present, presented with this opportunity to make your presence, write that clear, to make your presence felt for all eternity. Your kingdom will be done. You gave us the Son. You gave us your Son. Now is not the time to not stiffen our spine, to not lift one another up, to not fill one another's cup, so it can runneth over. And the devil's schemes. What was it? One that had it. What was it? I knew I was going to remember, and here I am not. I mean, I didn't think about it after last Sunday. I really didn't think about it, so it's escaping me. So it can run it over and mow down the. And one thing I was doing was I thought I'd remember the last word to rhyme with, and I don't know if it was dreams or what, but I don't want to keep using that rhyme. And mow down the devil's schemes. Because the way I have this song organized is it's gonna. And I think it sounds the blast from Talib Kweli, and I think it's got to be. High tech and Kweli. It's something about that, and then it's just dance and keep on dancing. The hook is just music. It's more music, so it kind of leads into it. You finish the verse, and it just kind of that's what it is. It's a good song, by the way. Mow down so it can run over. Mow down the devil's schemes. Oh, yeah, that's what it is. And mow down the devil's schemes. And mow down the devil's schemes. And plans to devour. Devour. Gosh, I haven't really spelled that. Uh-oh. You got my dictionary? Oh man, I don't have my dictionary. Uh-oh. Devour. Uh-oh. Devour. No, I don't have my dictionary. No, I'm going to write D-E on my hand, and I'm going to bring it down or keep it with my stuff. And plans to devour. Mow down the devil's schemes and plans to devour. stop cold in this their finest hour. So I did remember it. There was devour an hour. That's all it was. All right. Their finest hour was this very moment, living life correct, living in the present, presented with this opportunity to make your presence felt for all eternity. Your kingdom come, your will be done. You gave us the Son, you gave us your Son. Now is not the time to not stiffen our spine, to lift one another up, to fill one another's cup, so it can run over and mow down the devil's schemes and plans to devour. Stop cold in this their finest hour. So that's the first verse. And then we'd have some kind of, I might just play that church. I mean, I don't think we've had a rap song. There might be, because we're getting more conservative rap. And I don't know how you get the clearance, but it'd be cool to have that Winston Churchill speak in there. That'd be cool. I thought of a bumper sticker a long time ago, like conservative cool, and you have, I don't know, well, okay, it'd be like Abraham Lincoln. It's some cool imagery. It's some cool imagery with Churchill and Reagan. Anyway, try branding conservatism is cool, All right. And that's it. In the conversation I had, it's someone will identify or seek conservatism, and it's just so many different flavors of it. It's just, you could call yourself conservative, but you got to dig and find out what issue by issue, because it means different things to different people. Okay. All right. So what could be, so now I'll start off. I would start off the next verse similarly, and I got to put V1 here. Their finest hour. So their finest hour. Okay, so last time I said was this very moment. So their finest hour. Their finest hour. You're looking at it. Time marches on. Sure as I spit. You put out for the record. To mark my word. Let me get a little abstract. Duck the mark unheard. And I'm running out of time. Unheard. as it says in his word. Till next time, we'll get back to the rhymes.